It's supposed to be really nice.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I've been grateful that it doesn't look like this weekend.
Oh, I know this weekend is terrible.
So
it's called the Fall Festival?
We call it, it's just Salazar's Harvest Festival.
Harvest Festival.
And it's totally a celebration of food. Last year, about 80% of the food all came from the garden. This year, I think it'll be that much more. And we have about somewhere between 2 and 3 times the production that we had. So we're just hoping to grow that and build that and give people an opportunity to indulge and kind of.
And do the kids cook?
The kids will help with cooking, the kids help with processing, the kids help with growing. I mean, they've helped in every process. Like, people come a lot and they're like, your garden, you know, and it's not mine. Like these kids, it's every ounce of their like, wow, I just planted potatoes or I just harvested or whatever it is.
And fabulous.
So it's really, it's their endeavor.
Oh, this is a fabulous idea. Yeah. Now, how did you and your husband come up with this? Were you in like that nature of work before?
Myself, yeah. I was an environmental educator for about 7 years.
In Santa Fe?
And then I also was I was Oregon and Wyoming and different seasonal places. A lot of those jobs are seasonal. And then I was in the Peace Corps in Panama, working in small villages with coffee farmers and environmental work that we were doing. And I came back to the United States and really noticed a lack of youth participation in a lot of these environmental conferences and environmental work in the communities. And so we really wanted to create a space that was just for young people to learn about things going on in their community and to have a voice in their future. And, you know, Earth Care has had many different kinds of programs. We've experimented with different ways of engaging youth in the community. And the school gardens, I think that it's a very popular movement right now, as well as food. And so there's a lot of energy from a lot of teachers and a lot of students and parents that want school gardens at their schools, but they really don't necessarily have the structure or the know-how or like the program development experience to set it up to be functional and sustainable, or the resources to have a full-time educator. And so AmeriCorps has allowed us to really kind of create the program model and share that with a number of schools and put educators in the schools to do this program.
So will you go into other schools next year? Are you set for this year and then next year you get more schools?
We're set for this year that we have openings for the outreach program. So for, you know, and that is flexible. As often as a teacher has time available, one of our educators can come in and do our environmental education program. And then next year it depends on how many spaces we get for AmeriCorps volunteers. You know, we're hoping to expand, but there is talk at the federal level of cutting AmeriCorps completely or cutting it in half, so we really have to see how it goes.
So does that cost the district anything?
It doesn't. What we ask from the schools is to match, do a $3,000 match, but it doesn't come to Earth Care. It's money that they spend at their school on the program.
Oh, so it goes right back in there.
Yeah, if they build raised beds or if they, you know, buy materials for the program, like that all counts.
Isn't this aren't you having a blast?
Yes.
Oh, this is perfect. Do you have a background in education or teaching experience or anything? So you came with that.
Yeah.
You're used to the elementary level. I bet it's so effective in the junior highs.
Yeah.
Is it?
We haven't gotten too much into the junior high. We're at the elementary and high school, and we're hoping to expand into middle schools this year.
I think it would be fabulous.
Yeah.
I do. And the high schools, how do they like it? How do they respond to it?
They like it. You know, the programs are just getting rolling there as well, and it's a little broader focused. It's not necessarily about a garden. It's about, you know, at Capitol they call it their green thread, and so it looks different in all these classrooms. And we really partner with environmental science teachers and do project-based work. And so they, you know, the environmental science program runs their recycling program. They're starting a composting program. They do have a courtyard and a small garden at Capitol, and so they're helping develop that, as well as learning greenhouse and greenhouse management. And then they'll start doing audits on their school. So looking at, they're called environmental audits, looking at the energy usage in the school and the water usage and how they can start to work towards reducing and conserving.
This is probably where you work with Lisa a lot, don't you? Lisa Randall. What is her title? I can't even remember. She works for the district, and she does those kinds of things. I just get emails from her, turn your computers down, turn the lights off. They're like, oh, Lisa's talking again. There's like this Lisa out there. But yeah, that's right up her alley.
Yeah.
And now what happens? I heard you say something about greenhouses. Is this how you deal with the winter? The seasons coming up? What do you do in the winter? Because you're in there every week.
Yeah, so at Aspen we're lucky enough to have a real greenhouse. And,
a real greenhouse.
A real
Aspen
greenhouse.
is so nice. Isn't that a wonderful school?
And it went up just at the end of winter last year, and so we have not used it throughout the winter, and I'm still trying to figure out how I want to be using it and in what capacity. So, but doing a lot of winter growing and having students in there, and the kids really love that space because it's all warm and
and well lit. Is it open? I mean, you've got clear story.
Yeah, so it backs up to one of our buildings, and there's ventilation and there's some heating and cooling for the greenhouse, and we've got tables in there, and so it really can be used as a classroom. But we also do a lot of stuff indoors in the wintertime, so we take our focus less away from gardening and look more at sustainability, so looking at things like water and energy and waste, things that can be done a little bit more in the classroom when the kids are a little bit too cold.
There you go, and then you start back up again in the spring.
Exactly, when the weather turns and it's ready for seeds to go in the ground, absolutely.
And then school ends in May, so do you have a final project or final display or something that you do, like you're having that harvest now?
We have the sustainability fair at Salazar, and so like I said, it's an opportunity for the kids to cross share, so they're sharing with the other grades what they've learned and how what sort of changes they've worked on and those sorts. So that has worked out really well as far as, and then of course there's a giant planting. Like school's over in May, we can put stuff in the ground May 15th. So it's
everybody's
really
out there planting.
Let's go.
And then in the summer, kids go home. What do you do? Or do you have a summer program?
We had a summer school last year, and I don't know.
Did Aspen have summer school where they could continue on?
No, we did not. We sort of strategized how we planted so that it was really just some watering and weeding that needed to be taken care of over the summer, and then things were ready, come September 1st when the kids were back and we were back, and so we sort of planned our planting so that we weren't getting all this produce in the middle of the summer when nobody was there.
Yes, but nobody's there to harvest.
Yeah, but that the kids really got to enjoy it come the beginning of fall.
So is it all food, or do you have flowers?
We have mostly food with
flowers. Come plant
they
flowers
make
at the
their way.
administration
They make their way in.
They do.
You can't avoid them.
We do. We have a pollinator garden that really sort of to teach about pollination and about birds and bees and things that really can help a garden. But it is mostly vegetables.
Oh my gosh, you are in every aspect. That is so wonderful. So do you stay at one school, or do you go from school to school kind of looking things over and deciding? How does your job work?
Me personally?
Yes.
So I'm kind of one of their supervisors. I'm the supervisor on the earth care side, and then they have one at the school. And so we all get together every Wednesday, all of our AmeriCorps volunteers.
See. From every school, everybody comes together.
Every school, and we have others placed at the city and with nonprofits all working on food. And so we spend, at least a couple times a month, we spend a couple hours together looking at curriculum, how we can improve the curriculum and develop it further, troubleshooting, somebody's water pipe burst, who do they call? Whatever it is that comes up.
Oh, it
does happen.
All those things that have to be taken care of.
Absolutely.
So give me a funny story. What has happened out there?
Do you have one?
Do we have any
You go
incidences?
first.
No?
Do you have one?
As far as this, I think my favorite was that we've had a lot of trouble with the irrigation on and off because it's a different landscape architect and then who's maintaining it. And so we didn't know when the water main was on and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, they had plugged in one of the taps that seemingly wasn't working, and the landscaping people had left, but the architect had come back and turned on the water main. And so I came to school at like 8,
in the morning,
and there was water spraying onto the playground and had been spraying all night, I guess. And
my
it was
gosh.
this giant heaping flood, and they're just on the loudspeaker where is Liana? Someone
call
Liana. I was like, just take it out. I didn't know what to do. So that was, there's certainly incidences where you're just
troubleshooting, putting out fires, all the things that go with a big project like that. I am so glad to have you here. Anything else you want to say to our audience? Do you take volunteers? Are you paid? Do you mind me asking that? Or are you volunteering?
We are paid through an AmeriCorps grant, and so we get a stipend every month to do the work we are doing, but are not employees of Santa Fe Public School. We work, sort of do what is essentially contracting work out there.
There you go.
But we do get a stipend each month for the work that we do.
Good, so you're getting something. Do you like Santa Fe? You like working with the Santa Fe Public School
The kids are incredible.
They are so good. They make your day, don't they?
As are the teachers and the administrators. I feel like it's a great community to be a part of in the schools here.
I am so glad we have you here. I taught for 25 years. I didn't see you guys. I wish you had been there then. This is a fabulous program. Is there some way that people can get in touch with you to get involved with Earth Care?
Yeah, absolutely. They can look us up on our website, and there's information about all of these programs, and that's www.earthcare.org. You can also give us a call at our office, which is 983-6896. You can also contact their schools individually. I think they have volunteer opportunities throughout the year in the school gardens, and then we have volunteer opportunities through Earth Care with this program. So there's lots of different ways they can get involved, and we're always looking for volunteers.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's good to know, because there's so many people, they don't know where they fit. They don't really want to go into the classroom. They're not into like reading and that kind of thing. They want to use one of their hobbies, I guess.
It's totally a great way to facilitate that.
And how about the students? Do you use students? We have about 5 more minutes before we stop today, and I want you to tell me something about how you're going to close. What can you tell me about Earth Care that I didn't ask, that I didn't know to ask, that you want me to know and our listeners to know? Think you covered everything?
I think
there is so much going on. I can just imagine one typical day with you in a classroom in the garden or wherever. There are so many things going on, happening. Kids getting to experience this, projects, looking forward to things, planting, anticipating. There's a lot happening. Right?
I think that one of the great things about what we do is we really do have this impact in the schools, and we really do see changes in the students, and it is also an opportunity for us to reach out and to collaborate with other organizations and bring them to the schools to assist us in what we're doing. And an example of that is last year we had an event at Aspen to celebrate Global Youth Service Day, and we brought in we had 3rd graders from Aspen come out. We also had high school students from Desert Academy come and help out, and we also had students, I think they were from Boston, who came and helped out, and we had teachers and other administrators and staff out there, and it was such a celebration. We had all these partners all coming together to build a garden bed and to do some planting, and so that opportunity to make those connections also not only within the school but outside the school too is really great.
It is. You look at Earth Care and you think, oh, it's a garden thing. It's just that. But there are so many different aspects about it. You did a great thing. I think it's fabulous.
Thank you. It's all about community building. Really.
Yeah.
It is. It's totally community building, hands-on and watching it develop. And you see it happening, don't you? Thank you so much again, Allie Silber, you're at Aspen, and Liana Sone at Salazar, and our director, Christina Selby. Thank you so much for being my guests today.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you came. I really wanted to know about this project for the interview, but I see
and
those.
You can come to Salazar.
I will come out and look. I think the parents are probably really enthused about this, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
I would if my child was going to that school. I think that's a great part of the curriculum. Wow. My name is Helen Pacheco. Here I am again, the volunteer coordinator for Inside Santa Fe Public Schools. And if you'd like to volunteer for Earth Care, please contact me. I'm available at the volunteer office downtown at 610 Alta Vista with the volunteer services. Thank you for joining us today for Inside Santa Fe Public Schools.